Well, that wraps it up for our informal yet very formal networking session. And now let's get into the guts of the show. Hi, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you an absolute jewel of a woman named Roberta Perry, who is a new business development catalyst. She makes things happen with her company, Roberta Perry and Associates, and she will be moderating this panel. Roberta, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Norma Lynn. It's my pleasure to be the co-host with the invitation to tomorrow today co-founders, including Norma Lynn Cutler, who many of you know is the owner of Cutler Enterprises, an extremely innovative branding agency, plus Heidi Hirsch with Reveal Architectural Studios, and our amazing advisor, Susie Oglahara with Panasonic Hollywood Labs. Our Zoom format includes a 15-minute presentation by our guest speaker, followed by 10 minutes of questions and answers. If you have questions, please feel free to put them into chat. We're excited about today's showcase. Since January, the ladies here at Invitation to Tomorrow Today have been looking for a solution for better interaction, more engagement among coworkers in our virtual world. Plus, after 14 months seeing our coworkers and friends in a virtual world, we may need to learn to be social again. A few months ago, a friend of mine, Monty Lundy, president of Technifex and founder of the Themed Entertainment Association, recommended I meet our guest speaker. We met, and I immediately knew that the ladies of ITTT needed to meet her, as well as our monthly showcase audience, because we needed to learn more about purposeful play. Our guest today is Rona Lewis, CEO and co-founder of Playful Mind Project, a consulting company that helps improve corporate culture and employee engagement through aspects of purposeful play. She calls herself a play instigator, and she truly is. She has 15 years of experience as a business consultant, coming from a long career as a corporate executive in the media world. She's been a professional speaker and workshop facilitator for 14 years. Her clients include Aon, Honda, Metagenetics, the City of Los Angeles, Huntington Hospital, and Loyola Marymount College. I love Loyola Marymount College. So take it away, Rona.
Thanks, Roberta. I'm going to take a second and share my screen so that everyone can be on the same page, so to speak. Slideshow from the beginning. Everybody see that? All right, we are off and running. Welcome to If Work Isn't Fun and Games, Maybe It Should Be. Today, you're going to learn a couple of things. We're going to learn what play is, how and why it combines with work, and then I'm going to share some games and activities with you to help keep your business culture thriving. So you ready to jump in? All right. What exactly is play? A lot of different sorts of play, but overall, play is any activity that offers a sense of engagement and fun. It's more about being in the moment than whatever outcome happens. It's that wonderful sense of flow you get, that pleasure when you're in the zone and doing what you're doing so that time disappears and you feel like you can keep going forever. Doesn't that sound great? Now, purposeful play, a little bit different, but still fun. Purposeful play creates an environment that sparks creativity and energizes people. And a lot of studies have shown that it helps people think on their feet. You learn how to listen without judgment. And most importantly, it helps people feel safe, because you can't play if you don't trust and you don't feel safe. It's also been known to help reduce stress because you're in the moment. It improves resiliency and helps with coping skills. Now, I'm not going to get all sciencey on you. I'm not going to give you all kinds of background and stats that you don't care about and you're never going to use. Just know this. At Playful Mind Project, our specialty is making sure everybody has fun and learns what they need to learn, especially the things that keep employees engaged and motivated, whether online or in person. This is basically how we do all our programs. We make sure everyone has a blast, everyone feels great, and at the end, they want to do their jobs better. With all the changes in workplace happenings now, smart business leaders need to think differently in order to keep their people motivated and present-minded. Make sense? KPMG earlier in the year came out with a study. If you don't know who KPMG is, it's an international research and accounting firm. And they found that 68% of CEOs are planning to downsize their office space because they basically found out that hybrid and work from home pretty much works well. Companies like Google, IBM, DreamWorks, they're all going hybrid. And a lot of smaller ones are just going work from home. Now, this is great for their bottom line because they're saving in rent, but it really doesn't do a lot for their employees' well-being. As a consultant, I know that purposeful play engages people. It makes them feel like they're part of a team. It's that wonderful feeling of comfort and safety, like I said, and community. It also improves positive emotions. It teaches people just how to flip their negative thought process. It decreases stress and overwhelm, and it contributes to innovative and creative thinking. You know, overall, motivating people just isn't that easy, especially with everything that's going on with work from home and changing pandemic rules. And a great way to uplift and motivate your people is through purposeful play. Unfortunately, people don't always see how play combines with work. Luckily, this is a man who does. This is Dr. Stuart Brown. Dr. Stuart Brown is a researcher and the founder of the National Institute for Play. Isn't it awesome that there is one? If you look on the bottom, you will see the website. Go on it, look around. There's some awesome information there. And through his research, he has found that when employees have the opportunity to play, they actually increase their productivity, engagement, and morale. And isn't that what any company wants for their people? Overall, basic play, like I said, enjoyable and fun. That's pretty much what the definition of play is. Purposeful play is playing certain games for certain reasons at certain times. Basically, there's a method to the madness. And all of this teaches, informs, and helps people learn better because when you have fun, you actually learn better. That's actually a fact. But playing the right game is key to effectiveness. Once you have this down, then you can add other motivators to keep them in that positive mindset. Good leaders understand that keeping their people happy and satisfied is paramount. And that means finding their underlying motivation. This is the number one thing you need to do. You need to give them a reason for doing their job. That is finding their why. It's, if you've heard of Simon Sinek, he is a thought leader for organizational culture. And basically, this is the secret sauce for keeping your people happy, because motivation only works if it matches their why. Now, speaking of motivating people, Harvard University did something called the Hawthorne experiment, and they found that people are more motivated by attention than actual physical rewards, basically intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivators are things like achievement, recognition, who they are as a, as a work person. Do they like themselves at work? And all of these things are forms of attention. Now, play is also a form of attention, one that is really necessary to re-socialize your employees. Sorry, that was a little snafu. You have to re-socialize your employees now because they've been out of touch for over a year. 63% of workers spent less time socializing with colleagues during COVID, which kind of makes sense because everyone's been at home. And because of that, people need to remember how to be with other people. We help reattune them to each other through play. We keep attitudes high. We help with their creativity and innovation as they get back together. We spark their curiosity. All of this is play at work, which causes them to have no egos, more teamwork, mutual support, all the good things you want to make your team more productive and satisfied. We believe that our triple threat will help employees keep engaged and staying long-term, because now, I don't know if you've read articles, a lot of people are starting to jump ship because of going back to work versus work from home. These are all forms of attention. Using play, you want to find out their why so that you can motivate them. Once you find out the right way to do this, your people will be yours forever. And to help with that, I have a few games to share with you, games and exercises that will help with simple, purposeful play. The first one is called unicorn problem solving. This is an exercise where the leader of the group presents a problem and you go one by one and each person adds a solution to the problem. It's possible to build on the one before. You can come up with something totally different. This can be done in person, on Zoom, or through email. Now, why do we call it unicorn problem solving? Because the brain is just like your muscles. You need to warm them up to get the most creativity out of them. So you don't want to just jump into whatever problem you're trying to solve. So we like to go in with a fun problem so people can go crazy with fanciful answers. And one of our favorite problems to ask is, what's the best way for a unicorn to sharpen their horn? And once you do this, people will go crazy, have super fun, and then you can go to the meat of what you want to do. The next one is called one sentence group storytelling. Pretty much exactly what it says. Who's ever leading the meeting comes up with a fanciful first sentence, and everyone adds a sentence after that to tell a story. A sentence like, when I went into the kitchen this morning to make myself breakfast, there was an alien eating a waffle at my kitchen table. What this does, it helps with active listening. Because a lot of times in conversation, we're so busy thinking about what we're going to say next, we don't listen well. In this case, you have to listen and be in the present moment because you don't know what the person before you is going to say. The third one on the list is called scary stories, not scary stories. Everyone gets 30 seconds to tell the story of a scar that they have on their body. This brings humanity back to your team. It lets people remember that everyone has lives outside of the office. So if someone tells a story about a scar on their knee that they got when they fell playing tennis. Well, now you know that they play tennis and you have something else to talk to them about. Kind of makes it a little fun and brings teams a little bit closer. Ask a silly question is another great warm-up that you can do for any kind of meeting. It's kind of like the unicorn problem solving, where you just ask a silly question or give a silly situation and let them warm up their brain and their creativity. One of my favorites is, why are there no blue foods? Stop to think about it. Blueberries are purple. And you're not allowed to give a science answer. It has to be a fun one that you make up. And then you can go into your meeting. The last one on the list is tell a secret. This is perfect for an in-person or a Zoom meeting where people don't really know each other. So you can start out by telling people your name, what you do, and share something that a lot of people might not know. These are 5 different purposeful play activities that are fairly basic, so they can fit into almost any scenario, and that's why I wanted to share them with you. When we get together with you to come up with a customized program for you, we go a little bit deeper, but this is a great start for you to help with your teamwork. This is some of the other cool stuff we do. We offer play breaks, 15 to 30-minute brain relaxing moments, just to kind of let people let off steam, walk away from their desk and use the other side of their brain for a while. So it could be anything from laughter yoga to improv to moving around, and they're all different things that we do. We have Wonder Labs, which is our version of Lunch and Learn, because not everyone wants to learn during lunch. But when you offer a Wonder Lab, doesn't that sound like a lot more fun? We have brainstorming games. We also work with managers for better formats for brainstorming sessions. Unwind and unwork events are usually done after work, and they may or may not include alcohol. They're super fun. We have keynotes and workshops, which we call play shops, which can be an hour to 3 days, depending on what you want to do. And of course, we do gamification, which is done in more ways than one. It can be in person. We can help you with imparting information through games online. So there's all different ways we can work with that. We have also been known to pair with other types of consultants to help them impart their information and their programs in a fun and playful way. So organizational consultants, leadership consultants, sales consultants. So we pair up with them as well. If you would like to know more information, you can go to the website, playfulmindproject.com, or email me at rona@playfulmindproject.com. So Roberta, that's what I have for you today. I hope everyone enjoyed it and you learned some things, and I hope you play some of the games. I'm going to stop my share.
Oh, wow.
And hand it back to you.
Rona, you never, ever fail to amaze me. I love it. Absolutely love it. Every time I listen to you, I get something new. So thank you. Well done.
My job here is done. Yay.
Well, not quite
Not
done.
quite. That's right. That's right.
We've got a few questions that have come in through our audience that I want you to take a look at. The first question is, please share with us any metrics or results from the Purposeful Play program.
Well, from ours, we have found that we have a system of 1 to 10 in terms of people's stress levels and how they feel about their job. So we have people fill out before a program and after a program. And on the average, people's stress levels and attitudes towards work has increased for the better about 70%.
Wow.
Which is huge, absolutely huge. And, there are other stats from, gamification. 65% of employees learn better through gamification, things like that. So those are just 2 of stats that I can give to you that really show that play works in all different forms.
Oh, excellent. Excellent stats as well. You just mentioned gamification. Could you explain a little bit more how you use gamification in your program?
Absolutely. You know, people want it in different ways. There are companies who want to add it to either PowerPoints or their method of teaching their particular programs. And we can we have some independent contractors who are good at tech, who we work with to come up with games to get them immersed in what they're doing, whether it's finance and they figure out how to use money wisely to build a business, or to learn the different aspects of building a business, to coming in. And here's an example. I worked with a cancer research company, and they called me in because their people weren't following OSHA rules. And I came in, they were all very smart people, and sometimes smart people kind of think they may know a little bit more than others, and they do, but not overall. We were able to come in and offer fun games that helped them realize through, and kept it light, that they didn't know everything, and their actions had bigger consequences. And after we did this program, and it was simple games, and that was filled with a lot of movement. So it was in person, and they came to realize that in the big picture, they really needed to follow the rules because of everything from germs to the trickle down theory, And, so gamification can be incredibly high tech, or it can be incredibly low tech. And sometimes lower tech is easier to get the message across because they are actually living it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. I love that you include gamification in there and all aspects of it. Some point, you're probably going to include AR and maybe even some VR, virtual reality.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Or augmented reality down the road. How fun would that be?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make myself 20 years old when I do that. my avatar is going to try. My avatar is going to be awesome.
I can't wait to have an avatar to 20, 30 years old. Okay. One of our, Heidi asked a question. Explain, there seems to be a resistance from employees coming back into the office. Any suggestion for getting employees back to the office?
I think you have to do it slowly. And you also have to realize that they may think it's a 0 to 60 sort of thing, where it's from, I haven't been in the office in a year and a half, so I have to go back 5 days a week. And I think it would behoove businesses to do it slowly. Have them come back once or twice a week, and maybe stagger people. So, you come back on Monday, you come back on Tuesday, you come back on Wednesday, and you may only have three to five people in the office. I don't, however big your office is, you may only need people to come in for a Monday morning meeting and a Thursday afternoon check-in. It's a big question to ask because there are so many different size companies, and bring in an outside consultant, perhaps like us, to help make it more fun, and create surveys and find out why they don't want to come in, what's best for them, how do they work best, what if they do come back to work, what would work best for them. And I'm not saying that they're going to get everything that they want, and if they're heard, that alone will make them feel better.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Today, in fact, I know Apple, Google, Facebook, a lot of the big tech companies came out with their strategy for bringing people back into the office, whether it was going to be 2 or 3 days a week, 4 days a week, but it all came down to communication and communicating with their team leader. So I think you're absolutely right. It's all back down to communication, communicate. and help you and let people know they're being heard when
Exactly.
You're back.
Right. And authenticity, vulnerability, all those things, you know, high emotional intelligence from the C-level head of HR.
Yeah.
That's what's going to do it.
Oh, great. Next question. You mentioned you have a process for running a brainstorming session. Can you share any best practices with us?
Oh gosh, there are a couple. I would say, you know, depending on what the subject matter is, you know, I like warming people up with improv games. So I would just ask whoever I'm working with, whatever people are in the room, come up with 2 different nouns. So it could be an elephant and a pencil. And you write them on the board and let them brainstorm. How do these things relate? How would you put them together? You know, and that's not easy. And there are no rules for that. And they're also like I'll give you one more, like the problem solving. You write, everyone has a piece of paper with the problem on it, or if you're on Zoom, you can do it in chat, but this one really works better in person. Everyone has the problem on a piece of paper. So they start with theirs and they write one solution on it. And then they pass it to the person on their right. So they get a brand new one. Then they have to come up with a solution that's related to what's on the paper. And it may not be your method of creativity, and that's okay. That's even better because it stretches you.
Wow.
And it teaches people how to think differently. You know, people, there's an unconscious bias. You know, that's a real thing. And that gets you out of that. Well, this is the way I always think. This is the way I always do. Oh, I didn't think of doing this. You know, and that's another way. So and there are lots of different ways to brainstorm.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, Rona, do you have an ebook or a book to share with us? And if yes, what is the title and how do we get a copy?
Well, you can get a title of my ebook that's called The Playful Way. And it's actually on my personal website, ronalewis.com. And it is in the process of being updated. So if you can't get on it, let me know. You can email me, but it's the first thing that comes up. It's free. Just go on there, throw in your name, and you can have it. It's 37 different ways of playing. So, and why did I pick the number 37? Because it's a funny number.
Love it. I love it. Yeah. Rona, give us the website again.
Oh, well, my personal one is ronalewis.com. And if you want to learn more about the company, it's playfulmindproject.com.
Great. Well, I know one of our people will be putting that information into our chat. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next question. Who would invite Playful Mind Project into the company? How do you get that invite? Where does it come from? Does it come from the C-suite? Does it come from the head of HR? Where do you get it?
So, you know, it depends who I meet. I'm always out networking, you know. So it can come from the HR. I've talked to CEOs, and I've actually I call them heroes, employees and managers who I meet in various places, in various organizations, who go back and say, we need to use these people. We need to try them out. We at least need to talk to Rona and see if it makes sense for us to work with them. So that's how it usually happens.
Oh,
kind of like how I came here through Monty. You know, Monty and I know each other through Toastmasters, and we have a mutual admiration society. So when I was talking to him about the business, that's when he said, "Oh my gosh, I have to fix you up with Roberta." And magic happens.
Woo, and here we are. Rona, well, what's your process for onboarding a company once somebody says yes, that they want you?
I usually sit down and suggest a survey, an inter-office survey of maybe 3 to 5 questions, depending on what problem they want to solve. You know, I want to know the employees part of it, you know, and as well, a lot of times employees are more apt to be truthful to an outside party. They're very fearful about talking about any of their vulnerabilities with managers or above, because they don't want to be seen as weak or not being able to handle things. If they can do an anonymous survey, which is sometimes hard in-house, you know, we usually use that as a first step. And then we go back and say, okay, this is, you know, here are 3 or 4 different things we think we can do that fits in your budget, fits in your time, you know, whatever. And we go from there.
Oh, excellent. That's simple. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Love
it. Is, you know, play is not brain surgery. And there is, you know, like I said, there is a method to the madness. And it's important to do it like that, because, you know, there are a lot of companies that think, oh, I'm just going to give them free beer and a ping pong table like WeWork did. And you know what happens? You don't get more creativity. You get poorer ping pong skills because people are drinking a lot.
Wow, been there, done that.
Not exactly, me too.
Not the drinking part, but my bad skills playing.
Or darts.
Or darts.
Oh, darts. Well, that's a little more dangerous.
Ooh, no kidding. So, Rona, what's next for your company?
We are going whole hog, business to business. We're just trying to grow it. I'm actually starting a podcast with a colleague of mine who is an organizational consultant, and that should be starting within the next month or 2, called Crazy Cats in Corporate Culture. And it's going to be playful, yet we're going to be asking the hard questions. And it's going to be super fun because he and I are kind of wacky together.
So is it going to be cats, or can dogs play too?
Oh, heck, dogs can play. I have a dog. So he has a cat, and that's what he likes. I'm like, fun.
Oh, okay.
And you know, we're not 22 years old anymore, so it's like we're hep cats in corporate culture.
Wrong
That's okay.
Wrong definition, Roberta. Wrong definition.
We'll take them all. You're using your imagination. That's what we want. You're creative.
Well, Rona, you've just been amazing. Any final thoughts before I return control to Norma Lynn?
Don't be afraid to let your people try something new. You know, play is not an industry yet, and it should be, because the more comfortable and happier and more fun people are having where they work, the better. You know, the opposite of play isn't work. The opposite of work, rather the opposite of play is depression. So why would you want your people to be depressed? Let them play, let them have fun. Trust me, the bottom line productivity skyrockets when people are happier.
Oh, good. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy you were with us today as our
guest. Me too. This was so much fun.
All right. And on that note, I return control to our amazing co-host, Norma Lynn Cutler. Take it away, Norma Lynn.
Okay. Everybody should be very scared. Anyway, thanks so much, Rhoda. It was a pleasure to listen to you and to listen to your thoughts on play. Personally, you know, I think play and work are interchangeable, but that's my mindset. And I think more people should do that. Just some housekeeping things and information. Our next podcast showcase will be the last Wednesday of June. And our topic is about public art and healing and wellness. It's Luminex LA and bringing community together in a joyful way. So put that on your calendar. You'll be getting an invitation soon enough. Also, this podcast will be available on YouTube in a couple of days for everybody who is here, if you'd like to watch it again, because you can't get enough of that Rona girl. That's for doggone sure. So And definitely look up her website and see if you can score an ebook, because I know I'm going to be trying to, although if she recognizes my name, I might get the reject button there. So thank you for coming to Invitation to Tomorrow today. We hope you enjoyed this podcast as much as we did. And actually, we call them showcases, but podcast showcase, who cares? Have fun. That's what's important. And we will see you next time. Bye.